Hi, welcome to this week's episode of Artist ADD. My name is Alicia LaRue and I am an artist with artistic ADD. I want to try just about everything yes. With this episode, I am doing a blue heron, which in many ways showcases my artist ADD because I'm trying something, I don't know, I just had an idea and I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna just go for it. So I hope you enjoy this week's episode because it definitely has its fair share of ups and downs. Like any good piece of art, it never necessarily comes smooth, but really you just gotta roll with it. Don't forget to subscribe to this page, it really helps me out, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so here we have the space that I plan on doing the blue heron in. Right now I'm just taking measurements, and this is the quick sketch of my idea. I found myself a piece of plywood. Yay! Just did a quick outline, and now I'm going in with the power tool, the jigsaw. This is a very fun power tool that I like. However, definitely I'm cognizant of my fingers and the cord too. I'm always like, oh no, I don't want to cut the cord. But it's nice because it gets right in those little curvy details that I like. So this is just the outline of it. Now I am going with the Sharpie. So basically when I am doing the different shapes, I'm keeping in mind the structure of the wood and making sure that as I cut through all of these different lines that the structure, it stays sound. So here, cutting out one of the wings. Before I put the jigsaw blade in, I cut a little hole. I drill in a little hole and I just go for it. This is fun because I like to use both hands. So I go from right to left. After all of the cuts are made, I go in with the sandpaper. I like the sandpaper. If I could sand a piece, I could literally do it all day. It's very satisfying, I find. So now for the paint, we've got the orange and blue. Orange and blue. Hey, who would have thought it kind of comes out an interesting color. Definitely a lot more blue than orange. I'm slowly adding white. So these are all colors that were given to me by a friend. Here comes Paul. That's not level. You're making a mess. Yeah. Me? Make a mess? No, I don't make a mess. I just make, random teeter-totters, and I'm prepping for painting the picnic table. Anyways, just going in there with the paint and just a little bit of light blue on the blue heron. I'm trying to make sure to get in right all the cracks. So you add lots of paint, right? So you make sure to get all the edges. You know what? Making a mess is part of creating. I'm sorry. It's part of creating! Just look away. Look away and it's all good. So here I'm just using those paints. Again, recycled paints. Now I'd like to box the blue heron out. So I found some scrap plywood and I cut it out. Now, I'm not really a carpenter, and these cuts were not exactly easy, but you know what? It's all good. It's just a matter of fixing it. So I've gone in, you paint the edges and make sure that they're nice and sanded down, and I'm adding in the twinkly pretty stars. Oh, strongbow, yay! So here's my idea of putting the inside of the aluminum containers on the outside. However, with the nail gun, it doesn't quite work at all. So, part of the process, figure it out. Okay, well that didn't work. So I am using my good old trusty glue gun to put it on, which I really do like the look of it. I like the way that it shines the light. And I did do a quick test before I did it. However, because I'm doing it in the rain and the elements and it just fell apart. Like it can't come off that easy. So yep, all that work, it's what happens. It's part of creating. So now I'm just gonna get random pieces of wood and I'm just gonna staple them up on the board. So stapled them all up, and now I'm just going to go in and paint them. So the thing about stapling up all these random pieces ultimately were to hide those seams and those boo-boos. So a big part of creating art is kind of fixing your mistakes of sorts, and you know, I mean, they add to happy mistakes, as Bob Ross would say. So now we've got the what do you call paint gun? What do you call it? It's the airbrush gun. I always get that wrong. This has been a new tool for me, so I'm still learning how to use it, but I really do like the effect. I like the look of it. So just playing with this piece, really. Ultimately, I found that this piece ended up evolving into just a freestyle piece that, you know, I had an idea in my head, but I had to be flexible with what was actually going to happen. And I just focused on having fun and, you know, going through my frustrations. There was a lot of frustrating parts. However, I just persevered through them, and just, you know, I'm happy with the finished piece with this. After, you can see here, a lot of my paintbrush styles was, you know, a little bit panicky. I definitely went to the Jackson Pollock, but then I go back and add just those little details to make it interesting. So this piece here, I find it to be quite interesting for sure. It's not the way that I expected it to be to begin with, but hey, you know, I mean, it's his life, as they say. You just go with the flow. So that is what this piece has taught me, and I can tell you, every piece that I've ever worked on has some lesson in it, I find, for myself as an artist. So that's part of the thing that keeps me going on it, and I love just not giving up, just keep on going. So now here's a little bit behind the scenes. Before I actually put the blue heron up, I went in with the rope light, and I added the little rope lights. I love lighting that reflects, that's not direct lighting, those little twinkly lights. I'm all about that.
Okay, well, wasn't that fun? It was a challenge, but that's what life's about, is those challenges. Ultimately, you have an idea and you make it work, but you gotta be a bit flexible. 'Tis life, right? Thanks again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to this page, to this channel. I really hope to someday in the future be able to do this on a weekly basis and actually make it financially possible. So with you subscribing, really helps me out. With that, also May 16th, I will be doing a draw for a original piece of art, and I've got it in my head what piece of art I'm going to do and create. I can give you a little bit of a hint. It's going to be wool. So make sure to subscribe and write just a little comment below. It will put you in for that draw. Oh, and a big shout out to my niece Nora LaRue. You rock, I love you, my niece. Anywho, we will see you next week.
It's alive.